Banky special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man. My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts. Shout out to everybody out there on Team Banky Pound, man. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. Man, we back with the remix, man. For all my real TBB fans, y'all already know I made this video, man, but the camera was messed up, so I'm having to remake this whole video for y'all. And it's kind of long, and it is torture. But for y'all, man, I gotta do it, you know. I go through these experiences, man, because of the fact that y'all watching, the fact that y'all want this information, that y'all want this content, so I want to give it to y'all. A lot of people ask me, man, do you like reliving all of that prison stuff? If it'll help somebody, absolutely, you know, and that's the whole purpose, man. Each one teach one, and we trying to spread this positive energy. We trying to deter people from going to prison. We trying to stop young fellas from making bad mistakes, young women from making bad mistakes that might change their life. So if I gotta work overtime to do that, that's what it is, man. Work don't hurt nobody. Don't hurt nobody. It's the work that you don't do that you end up regretting. So we got to do this all over, man. So I hope y'all like this video. I hope y'all give me 100K likes, 100K views on this video, because I'm doing this for y'all, man. And if you're not subscribed, please do go subscribe. Please like these videos, share these videos. It might help someone and keep them out of the situation that might just ruin their life, man. Coincidentally, man, I want to throw this in as a side note. RIP to the soldier Hoto, man. That was a dude that I was incarcerated with. He did 41 years. 41 years. And I was just informed yesterday that he got out, and he wasn't even out 2 or 3 days, man. And his nephew took his life, man. Took his life, shot him 7 or 8 times. And that's just horrific, man. That's just a tragedy in itself. A man that had to go through all he went through in prison and only to come out here and to lose his life in less than a week. That's the type of things that I'm talking about. When a move like that is made, man, you destroy so many lives, man. So many lives. You know, that's a family issue that's going to, you know, turn into the fabric of their family. Community issue, man. It's just a great loss, man. So, like I say, man, be smart, be safe, make good decisions out here, man. And always remember, man, everything you do has consequences. And sometimes the consequences is a higher price than we want to pay. So RIP to Hoto, man. Everybody who was locked up in the Virginia penal system knows who I'm talking about. So salute to that brother, man, a fallen soldier. With that being said, man, let's jump into this Wallace Ridge, man. Yes, and I will tell y'all again off the top, this is the worst prison that I have ever been on in 33 years. For a lot of reasons, you know. Number one, it was so far away, it was up in the mountains. Number two, it was just ultra racist. And these people up here was like no other people that I have ever been around personally in my life. I say this before in other videos, I say it again. They put you in the frame of mind, man, of the movie Roots, man, like slavery, because this is how this administration carried it, man. They carried it like, you know, they were slave masters and we was just slaves, man. They talked to us how they want to talk to us. They treated us how they wanted to treat us. And you could buck if you want to. That was your, you know what I'm saying? That was your prerogative. But they was gonna definitely punish you up there, man, because they had all advantage. They had all the equipment. They had all the guns. They had the dogs. They had the law on their side. So you had no wins up there whatsoever. A lot of people had lost their life up there before I even got there. That was the big, you know, rumors all around the prison system, how they was, you know, brutalizing dudes up there, taking their life, killing them and getting away with it. There was a couple of murders up there, before I even got there, at the hands of officers. They had been under investigation and came through the investigation and got away with a lot of stuff up there, man. So it was a real dangerous place, man, to be going. I knew this coming in, so I had that in my frame of mind to try to be prepared for what I had to go through. I told y'all they put the trick up on me for me to get sent up there anyway by, doctoring my paperwork. This is how the system works, from time to time, man. Whatever they gonna do, and it ain't nothing you can do about it because you locked up, you incarcerated. It ain't nobody listening to you. Your complaints go unheard. They make the public feel like, well, he locked up, he committed a crime, man. He's a criminal. He a lie, cheat, steal, whatever. Don't listen to him. So normally, the convict or the inmate voice goes unheard, man. This gives the administration the power to do what they want to do with little, recourse. So it's terrible, man. Especially when you get in a place like this. They had blasted this whole mountain out up there at Wallace Ridge just to create this prison, to create a better economy up there in that part of the land, man. I think it was called Big Stone Gap, and they did that, man, to boost the economy because before the prisons was made up there, Wallace Ridge and Red Onion and all of that, the biggest thing they had going up there was the coal mines. You had people that worked in the coal mines up there, man, for their whole life, and that was how they fed their family. So bringing these prisons in was new to them. This was something that could create, revenue for them, create jobs for them to boost the economy up there. And that's the way they looked at it. It was just a job to them. So you had a lot of these dudes getting jobs on this prison that they ain't never worked in a prison, ain't never worked in law enforcement before, never worked in institutions before, so they coming in there and never even worked in there before, but yet they giving a gun, they giving dogs, they giving all of this ammunition, mace and stuff to use on you. You see what I'm saying? And they racist. They don't even like, African Americans. They don't like any other race but their own race, and yet they still got a job here and they have authority over your life. This in itself creates a dangerous situation. You see what I'm saying? And it won't nothing you could do about it. Everybody who worked there, it was some form of nepotism. Either they knew each other, they was some kin to each other, they grew up with each other. So they each had each other's back, and they used that, to their full advantage, man, and took cold advantage of everybody that came up there. And like I say, I knew this going in, but when I got there, and you can hear a lot of things, man, but what you hear and what you experience are two different things. I can tell you how good this burger is, but then when you eat it, you're going to have your own, assessment of how it is to you. So when I got up there and I started looking around and I started seeing it off the rip, I could see the look in their face. I could see the way they act, the way they, looked at you with disgust. They looked at you like you was beneath them. They looked at you like you wasn't even a human being, So I knew, I settled in my brain of what I was dealing with. And I had to control me. I had to control my temper because I got my own principles and my own laws and my own rules of what I will go for and what I won't go for. And my number one rule is I'm not going to let you hurt me. And I'm definitely not going to let you hurt me without repercussion. Be it the administration, be it as an inmate, be it as a convict, be it as anybody. All I have is my own life, and I'm going to protect that at all costs, even if it costs me my life. But that's just principles that I stand on, man. And I dug my feet in the ground on those. I'm never going to let anybody hurt me if I can prevent it, and I'm going to always try to prevent it. So this put me in a more dangerous situation because of the way they carrying it and the way they acting, and I'm living on my own principles. So I went in there with bad feelings off the top, man. I didn't know how this situation was going to turn out, but I had certain things locked in my mind that I just wasn't going to go for, and I just prayed on it and hoped that I wouldn't have to deal with none of those situations because I knew how I would deal with those situations. But anyway, man, when we got on there, man, I can remember, man, it took a long time to get off the bus. We getting off the bus. They got the gun on you. They got the dogs on you. They take us in this big old long hallway, man, and they calling us name by name, and they giving us, laundry or whatever that we supposed to have. Me coming from segregation, I was going back to segregation until I had to, see the board to get out of segregation. So my journey on there was going to start off in the hole anyway. So that was crazy within itself. Mac was on the bus with me, old Mac, crazy old Mac. Shout out to the Mac, man. He was cutting up, acting crazy all up in there. The people had already had some paperwork on him, so they knew he was kind of off. So they was a little leery about him, the way he looked, the way he acting, the way he just don't care. They ready to, get down on him off the rip, and they ended up, doing a little tussle thing with him, man, and locking him up too. So he went to the jail off the rip too, because, like I say, that's Mac. That's how he coming, But, when they started processing everybody in, man, and they got to me and everything, man, they took me straight to segregation. I got 2 dudes holding my arm, taking me to seg, Man, it's just crazy, man. Just seeing the way they look, man, and the way they acted, man, and the way they talking was just, it was like culture shock to me, coming from Flatland, being up here with this type of stuff. I had never been around it before. Man, they take me to the segregation block, man. They take me, man, they put me in the cell, and what they do is they open the door, they walk you in the cell, you step straight in the cell, you got shackles and handcuffs on. So they tell you, when the door is open, to get down on your hands, get down on your knees. Now you got on shackles and handcuffs, they want you to get down on the concrete floor on your knees with no, nothing for your knees or nothing, man. I started thinking about older people and stuff like that. They got to do all of this. It's just crazy. So I get down on my knees, they start taking the shackles off. It's 2 officers. So when they take the shackles off, I'm trying to get up off my knees. So I stand up and I still keep my back to them for them to take the handcuffs off. So when I stand up, the officer, one of them is a real little short dude, man, skinny, looking, crazy, like he come out of straight out of the movie No Turn. There was a whole lot of people up there that look like they come straight out of the movie No Turn. If y'all don't know what the movie No Turn is, Wrong Turn. You go watch the movie Wrong Turn and you'll understand my reference. But, so I stand up and he like, look, turn around. So I turn around, he said, I don't know where you come from, but I'm telling you right now, the next time we put you in a cell and we start taking off your restraints, we take off your shackles, you do not stand up. You stay down there until we get this handcuffs off of you and we close the door. That is when you get up after we close the door. If you get up before then, you're gonna have a bad day. Do we make ourselves clear? So this is already off the top. So I'm looking at them, right, and not what I'm thinking, but what I'm thinking about what to say and not saying what I think. So I said, yeah, okay, man. So I turned back around and still had my handcuffs. He said, get on your knees, get back down on your knees. So I said, yeah, okay. So I get down back on my knees and take the handcuffs off. They said, now you stay down there until the door is closed. So the door closed, man. I get up. I'm in seg. I'm on Wallace Ridge. I'm up here in the mountains. I'm seeing what the county is already. And I look around. I ain't got nothing in there. I ain't got my sheets. I ain't got no pillow. I ain't got no sheets, no pillow, no toilet paper, nothing. I'm just in this buck naked cell. I ain't got my property or nothing yet, man. It's just crazy. So I'm just waiting around, man. I heard dudes and stuff start hollering from other cells. Man, where you come from? What compound you came off of? Man, watch yourself up here, y'all. These people crazy up here, man. They racist, man. They woo, I'm hearing all of this, and I'm just listening, trying to process all of this in. I can remember when the first officer came walking around, man, I asked him, man, told him I ain't got no pillow, I ain't got no sheets and stuff like that, no toilet paper, and he just, boom, walked right on by like he ain't even heard me, like I'm invisible, like I don't even exist. So I'm like, man, this is crazy. So I'm sitting in there, man, like I said, I'm trying to keep my composure, I'm trying to, maintain, but you sit there when you by yourself like that, man, it puts you in a state of reality. I'm asking myself, man, what now have I got myself into? All of this drama over these phones, man, and I knew I should have used better judgment. I knew I should have been got rid of the phone. All of that, comes back, to your mind when you in these situations. But that's hindsight. It's over now, so it ain't no need for me to think about that. There's a need for me to try to survive and deal with what I got to deal with right here, right now. So, man, I was just tripping, man. And then here they come walking around here, bringing the food, and we in seg, so they serving the food. The officers are actually serving the food. So I I don't remember, man, whether it was lunch or dinner or whatever. It might have been lunch, man. But they coming around, they serving the food. And, man, this right here just set the pace of what I knew I was dealing with, man. You got this one dude, he's serving the food, man. He looked like he weighed probably about 400 pounds. It's hot back here. He got dripping sweat off of his face, literally like he just jumped out of a pool. And he's serving this food. He's chewing tobacco, which tobacco don't even supposed to be on the compound at all, not even for officers. He's chewing tobacco, dripping sweat down his face, and he's serving the food. He's leaning over, putting the trays in the tray slot, man, sweat dripping down in the food, man. It just was nasty, let alone the food being nasty within itself. Then you got this going on, and you looking at him, and he chewing it, man. It was just gross. Won't know where in the world I was gonna eat it, you know what I'm saying? Won't no way possible that was going up in my system. Well, I won't put that in my system. You know, I remember thinking to myself then, is this how they gonna be serving the food or whatever? Man, I hope they hurry up and get me out of segregation, because I'm gonna starve back here, because I ain't eating none of this stuff. Straight up, I'm not eating none of it. Man, they chewing tobacco, talking, and and just, you know, man, and they supposed to be serving you food. So I'm asking them about my property and stuff, man, and give me some toiletries and pillows and sheets and stuff, you know, when they serving the food. And he looked right at me and, man, we are serving food. You get that stuff later. We ain't got nothing to do with that. You holler at your floor officer. So I'm like, yeah, all right. You know, so yeah, this right here was what I was into, man. This is what it was off the rip on there, man. So, you know, I get to hollering at dudes back there, man, talking to dudes on the gate, man. Some dudes back there knew me. You know, you know, we talking, we screaming because we can't actually see each other. So, you know, they telling me how it is on the compound, how they carrying it on the compound, man, how dangerous it is out here because of the gangs, and then you dealing with the administration, man. It's like woo, woo, woo. So, man, I'm processing all of this. I don't think I ended up getting my pillow. I didn't get no pillow at all, if I remember. I ended up getting some sheets, some toilet paper, man. Took about maybe the next day. So that night, I'm sleeping on just the bare mattress and everything, man. So it was crazy, man. I can remember, man, when they got my stuff, I'm waiting on my property. They don't bring me all my property. They just bring me a little bit, my mail, little stuff like that. I ended up going to see the board, probably I think you see the board within 72 hours. I ended up seeing the board, said it was going to release me the population. I would have to go into the intake block. I ended up getting out probably about a week and a half. I got out. I go to the block, man. The first cell they put me in, I told y'all, man, they put me in the cell with Knockout, man. Knockout, man. And it was good because I knew Knockout. That was a little young dude that I knew on Census 2. And the same one that I told y'all in another previous story that ended up knocking the dude out, you know, with the shower thing on Census 2. That what got him sent up to Wallace Ridge, that incident right there. So he had already been up there when I get there. So I ended up going in the cell with him. That same dude, coincidentally, that he ended up knocking out was the same dude that lost his life on his bus ride with me on the way to Wallace Ridge. Crazy world, man. Crazy world. Same dude lost his life. I ended up telling him that, man, he felt even bad about it himself. Even though he had the confrontation with the dude, it was like crazy to him. I was like, yeah, man, dude just died on the bus on the way up here, man. You know, I hope his people find out, man, they got a real lawsuit. And it was crazy, man. He was shocked to hear that. But yeah, he was a good celly, man. He was a good celly. You know, like I say, he's a smaller dude, man. But they call him Knockout, man, because he had a big old heart, man. And he will fight anybody at any time. And he will be the one to throw the first punch, man. Believe that. Salute to Knockout, man. He's still in there, man. I think he's supposed to be getting out this year. Hopefully, man, I get with him and bring him to y'all in person. But yeah, little Knockout was my celly, man. So that was a good thing because, like I say, you already going to be dealing with administration. You're already going to be dealing with the gangs. You're already going to be dealing with, you know, being up here in the mountains so far away and all this foolishness. The least you can hope for is to have a decent celly. You know, somebody that you can coexist with, that you don't end up getting in a confrontation with inside that cell, because that's probably going to be the only place you can find any type of peace if you're gonna have any whatsoever. Or so yeah, man, we was cool, man. You know, and they call him knockout because he fight, you know, all the time and everything, but you know, he knew me and he knew of me, so man, that's one of the first things he asked me. He was like, yeah, I'm glad you in the cell with me, man. You gotta teach me some of that boxing, man. He said, I already got the heart, I already got the punching power. I just need to know how to put them together, man. So, you know, I was like, okay, that's what's up. So yeah, man, I started, you know, working out with Knockout, man. I started teaching him how to box in the cell. Yeah, making him even more dangerous. But we ain't had nothing else to do, man. We locked up. He right there with me, man. So I started giving him some good lessons, man. And he was picking up on it real fast. We worked out in there together, man. When we started going out in the block and everything, man, I started seeing other people and talking to other people and seeing, you know, how the institution was being run, how these police was carrying it, what was going on. But one of the main things I remember off the rip when I first went in the cell with Knockout was, I remember I still ain't, now you go to another cell, you still ain't got no sheets, you ain't got this, that, and the third, the things you need that you're supposed to have, you know, to make my bed. So they got a call button up in there on Wallace Ridge, so I go and hit the call button. While me and him talking, I just hit the button. You know, and when I hit the button, he was like, man, and I was like, what's up? But they come over the speaker. As soon as they come over the speaker, they tell me, what's your emergency? I said, oh, look, I ain't got no sheets and pillowcases and stuff in here. I just moved in here. Beep. They come straight across the joint and cut me off and say, look, N-word, N-word. I told y'all don't hit this button no more unless it's a mercy. If you hit it again and it's not no mercy, we gonna be there to give you a mercy. Beep, and cut it off. So I look at Knockout, I'm like, man, did he say what I thought he said with the N-word? He said, yeah, man, that's why I was trying to tell you, don't even push that, John. You gotta wait for an officer to come around and holler at him about getting some sheets and stuff. He said, man, they be tripping up here, man. They off the chain. I'm like, man, these people out of pocket, man. They definitely out of pocket. I'm telling you, they calling you the N-word right to your face. They use it as if, you know, they ain't sitting in front of you. You know what I'm saying? Nothing that they would do in the society, nothing that they would do right in front of you on the street, or nothing that they would do man to man if y'all was in the free world. But this is how they carrying it up here, because that's how they feel. They that comfortable up there with the situation that they in, the job that they work, and you know, the big old gang that they got behind them, which is their administration. You know, so it was crazy, man. I knew from that point, man, if I didn't knew already, man, I got to watch my step on here, man, because I didn't want nobody to say nothing to me, or one of them to come at me in a way that I just respond instead of, you know, or did I just react instead of responding. I had to think, man, because I wasn't used to that type of stuff. I definitely wasn't used to it at all, but I knew what I was up against, so I ain't had no choice but to try to get myself in order, you know, because right now we talking about survival. You know what I'm saying? We talking about trying to survive up here to get back down on flatland so we can get out of the penitentiary. But man, this was gonna be a rough one, man. This was gonna be hard. I knew that off the rip. So, like I said, when we started moving out and about, man, and going out there and, you know, just seeing how they moving. You got the gun tower right over top of you. Man, they just sitting up there looking like they itching to bust that gun on you. And Knockout that told me off the rip, he said, look, if you play cards, you play any type of board games, you horseplay out here, you talk loud, you get to arguing with somebody, you talk to a police aggressive, all of the above, and then some, bah, they gonna shoot you. I say, what? He said, yeah, they gonna shoot. I say, they shooting people for playing cards. He said, yeah, you play cards or spades or something, you slam the table, slam the card in on the table and look, bah, they done took all shooting, telling me something, it's a sign of aggression. Man, they was just using us up there as target practice, man. And they love to bust that gun, because then they get up there talking about it, laughing, talking about who they shot and how they was scrambling around, how everybody was laying down on the ground like roaches and stuff. Man, it was crazy, man. You couldn't believe this stuff unless you was actually in it. You know, it's like you in a whole different world, like you in the Matrix or something, man. I'm like, man, this can't be right. And you know what I'm saying? I'm like, ain't nobody, you know what I'm saying, wrote this stuff up, man. Ain't nobody got these people, you know, fired or shut down or something. He was like, man, you gonna find out. He said, ask for a grievance up here. ask for an informal complaint up here. He said, man, the people ain't even gonna want to give it to you. They're gonna ask you what you want it for. All of that is illegal. You supposed to be afforded all of that paperwork upon request. When you ask for a grievance, when you ask for a request form, when you ask for an informal complaint, they're supposed to get that to you upon request. Not asking you no questions, not questioning who you writing up or what you write. That's not even their job. But he said that's what they was doing up there, and I found out that was totally true. And what was so crazy about it was I ended up finding out the real reason why they didn't want you to write nothing up, and the real reason why they asked you after you wrote something up or give them the paperwork, what is this? Who you writing up? What is for? Half of them up there couldn't even read, man. They couldn't even read. That's why they didn't want the paperwork going out, because they didn't know if you was talking about them or somebody else. They didn't know if you was complaining on them or somebody else. They couldn't even hardly read up there. But yet they got a job that governs over your life. They got a job that will allow them to take your life. So your life has zero value up here. Zero value up here. The dude next to you here and the dude next to you there and them dudes out there on the block care nothing about your life. They too busy worrying about their life. And the administration care nothing about your life. So your life was zero worth on this institution. You know, and it's already devalued when you're in prison, period. Now you're talking about zero worth. So you talking about that's the type of mindset you got, understanding where you at the time. That makes you dangerous yourself. It made me more dangerous because I'm feeling like don't nobody care about my life, so I'm going to protect my life at all costs by any means necessary. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, I was in a bad state of mind when I was up there, man. And it just got worse and worse as I stayed on there even longer, man. It changed my whole perspective. You know, it made me act different. It made me move different. It made me, you know what I'm saying, look at the situation different. Because, like I said, I had been in prison there for a minute, and now I'm seeing that even though no matter how long I've been in here, it's still evolving. It's still changing. But it's getting, not evolving, devolving. It's getting even worse. You know what I'm saying? Being incarcerated is getting even worse, if that's even possible. You see what I'm saying? But it was, and it was getting worse, man, because I was in a crazy environment, man, that had people making up their own rules, man, and was allowed to get away with it. You know, they come in there, they talk to you greasy, they look down on you, they yell, spit, slobber all at the side of their mouth, they chewing tobacco, don't even supposed to have tobacco in their mouth, they talking to you as if, you know, they talking to a child. You know, you might be 40, 50, 30, 60 years old, and you got a 24-year-old hillbilly talking to you like you a kid, man. You know what I'm saying? It just was insane, man. So, you know, like I say, man, I just watched. I try to observe. I try to process everything around me because, like I say, this is what you got to do when you in these type of situations. You got to know the playing field because you in the game. So I just watched, man. I started seeing, even though we was in the intake block where everybody would eventually be moved out of this block to another block where you would be assigned to, but I could just see it. You could see the little gangs when we came out. They, you know, got in their little huddles and stuff, and they talk. You know, they trying to regulate the showers in there. They trying to regulate the phones in there. This the intake block. You can imagine what's going on in the regular blocks. They regulating the showers, man. They regulating the phones. You know what I'm saying? They congregating together. I remember this was when I first met Trey too, man. Shout out to Trey, man. Travion Blunt. You know, I did the story and stuff on him, man. The young brother that was locked up from the age of 15. So, you know, yeah, I remember seeing him, how young he looked, how innocent he looked. And yet he's sitting in there with 6 life sentences. 6 life sentences. Looking like he 12 years old, man. You know, and he in the same boat as everybody else. You know, same boat as everybody else. It ain't no mercy on you because you young. It ain't no mercy on you because you small. You know, they looking at us all the same as we just a ends to a means for them, or just a job, you know. And our life has zero value, you know. So, yeah, man, but I was like, man, this is crazy. I didn't even really want to be on the block that much because, like I say, if something break off or somebody get into any type of altercation, off the rip, they shoot. And when they shoot, you got these pellets that fly out everywhere else. The administration come running in there with the dogs. You got to be laying down on the floor. The dog is all on the floor, snapping and biting all around your head. You know, they coming in, they might use the riot mace and they spraying this stuff everywhere, and people is in there choking and laying on the floor choking, but yet they still want you to have your hands out and your face down. It's crazy, man. And then when they do that, they just, even when they get the incident secure and they get the participants, you know, subdued and took out, they still got you laying there like, you know, and they walking around talking, having conversations, talking about race cars and chewing tobacco and Dale Earnhardt and stuff, man. It's just dehumanizing as I don't know what. And anybody who chooses to stand up or say, man, can we get up there? And then they just pouncing on you. It was just pure insanity, man. And I can remember when I was in there, even in the intake block, I can remember the first time, man, I seen them bust that gun, man. Two dudes was back there by the shower. They was arguing about the shower. They looked like they was getting ready to fight, and their voice got a little bit too loud. And next thing you know, man, blah! Get on the ground! Get on the ground, everybody! Get on the ground!
The Banky special. Yeah. Pure deliciousness. Pure deliciousness, man.
My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.